This is a video that I wasn't intending to make, but I was sitting in the studio working today and I just felt passionate enough about this subject. I wanted to put the camera down, set it on to record, and just chat to you. I want to chat to you away from the pressure of sponsors, away from distracting B-roll, and away from trying to please the algorithm. If this video does well, that's because you feel passionately about the iPhone Air. And that's what I want to talk to you about in this video, the future of the iPhone Air. I'm David, and this is D Talking Tech. I bought my iPhone Air on the day of release, which was back in September, so about 3 or 4 months ago, on the same day that I bought my 17 Pro Max. And no sooner did I buy it, then it became my second phone. The moment I started to pick it up and use it, I loved it, and it goes everywhere with me. If you've been watching my videos during the course of the summer, I've made a couple of videos where this was my only phone on road trips. I took it away and just saw what it was made of, how capable it could be, and what it was like to use. And it's the only way to really get to understand a phone is by using it like that. The trouble is that Apple shot themselves in the foot when they released it, when they also, on the same day of release, in that keynote speech, they sold a battery pack to go with it, which meant that the rumours were rife that it was going to have a really poor battery. How could a phone that thin have a battery that was going to last a day? Well, here's the thing. On those road trips I went on, it does last a day, easily lasts a day. I did a 2.5 hour car drive with it. It was my sat-nav in the car. It was playing podcasts. I got out the other end and was using it for sat-nav to walk around the town where I just got to. And it still had battery left by 7 o'clock in the evening. The battery really isn't an issue. And I think there's a couple of reasons I think the iPhone Air struggles. Firstly, choice. There is too much choice. And it's not just iPhone Air that's struggling, so Samsung's Edge. Apparently they are in the same dilemma where they're talking of ceasing production or delaying production, which is exactly where we are with the iPhone Air. And I don't want this to be a relic. I don't want this to be a one and done. It's too good for that. So possibly we've got too much choice because at the moment you could walk into an Apple store this afternoon, you could buy an iPhone 16e, you could buy an iPhone 17 or the Pro and Pro Max. So with the Air, you've got 4 brand new iPhones you could go and choose. But again, one of the problems is the price point. It's priced wrongly. And Apple does this time and time again. And they've squeezed this from both sides to the point where there's no compelling reason that I could honestly tell you that it was the right phone for you to go and get, apart from the fact that it's just gorgeous. But that's probably not a strong enough reason. But equally, the guys that work in the Apple stores, I don't know if you were to walk in and say, I want to buy a phone, why would they suggest this? Don't forget, you've got the iPhone 17, which is at £799, and the iPhone Pro starts at £1,099. So in other words, this is £200 more than the iPhone 17 that's got more cameras and stereo speakers. And it's only £100 less than an iPhone Pro that's got the best cameras, and it's got all of the features on there. You can shoot in ProRes RAW, you can shoot in OpenGate, you can shoot your pictures in ProRes RAW. It's in the wrong price point. It hasn't got anywhere to go. And that's, I think, the fact that we've got too much choice and it's at the wrong price is possibly why people are walking away from the iPhone Air. Now, Apple's release cycle apparently is going to change. So in September now, starting next year, we're just going to get the Pro, so the 18 Pro and Pro Max, and also the foldable apparently is coming out next year. And then in the spring of 27, we're going to get the 17e, we're going to get the iPhone Air 2, if it's still around, and also the iPhone 18. So they're kind of splitting up into the premium phones in the fall and then the more budget-friendly phones, should we say, in the spring of each year. And I understand why they're making that mark in the sand. That's sensible. But the rumours that I've heard vaguely floating around are that they're not discontinuing the iPhone Air, but they're listening to the feedback. The feedback is that the iPhone Air is responsible for only 1 in every 10 iPhone sales. It is woeful. It is such a bad seller for the reasons I think we've covered, that it's too much of a choice and it's wrongly priced. So Apple's reasoning at the moment seems to be to go away and add features to it. They're going to add a vapor chamber, they're going to add an extra camera, and they're going to give the battery more capacity. I suppose any battery bump is always a good thing. I'm assuming they can get a larger capacity battery into a thin phone like this. An added camera, sure. I'd probably choose for the ultra-wide, but either the ultra-wide or a tele lens on there, fine. And the vapor chamber, well, it never gets warm, but if they can put it in there, I'm not going to complain. But then I wonder, well, are they going to put in three what sound to me to be fairly expensive features and keep it at the same price when that price is already wrong? The fact that it'll be sitting in the lineup, squeezed from either side, will still be the case. This phone, to have a compelling reason to go and buy it, needs to be cheaper. At the very least, it needs to be $899. At least then it might convince you to buy this rather than going up to the Pro. And okay, it's then £100 more than the base 17 or 18 as it will be then. And possibly there's a good enough reason for you to think, well, it's such a gorgeous phone. I'm going to choose that just because. And that's the thing. Apple took a risk on making this phone, but they went back to their core. They went back to what they did best. They were innovative. They just made a phone for the sake of making a phone and flexing and showing what they could do. And I like that. That's what Apple was built on. That is the DNA of Apple. Just being a little bit edgy, a little bit less corporate, and just doing something for the heck of it. And that's what this phone represents. And that's why I don't want it to be a relic. And the thing is, I've made a number of videos on this phone since I bought it. Apart from those road trip ones, I've done the full spec reviews and all the things. I've made loads of videos on it. And every time I make a video on the iPhone Air, the comments are full of people who have bought it and just want to hear from somebody else that's used it, bought it, and enjoys it. And every comment is glowing. There's nobody that's bought it and said, oh, very occasionally somebody decided it just wasn't for me. But by and large, most people who've gone and bought the iPhone Air absolutely love what they have in their hands. And that's the thing, it's an emotive buy. Once you touch this, once you hold this, you'll understand what it's all about. So the idea of this video was really just for me to sit down and start a conversation with you. I want to know, have you bought an iPhone Air? Are you happy with your purchase? Do you feel that it was a mistake? Or every day that you pick it up, do you just feel it's just something special? That's why it's my second phone. It just feels luxurious and unnecessary, but it's really good at what it does. It does all the things I want it to do. And if you haven't bought an iPhone Air but are thinking about it, what has held you back? Why haven't you bought the iPhone Air? Is it just price or is it features? Because when you look at the features, it's got kind of all the things that make a premium iPhone. It's got Face ID. It's got Find My. It's got Dynamic Island. It's got a really good camera. The battery's decent. Of course, it's Apple Intelligence friendly. It's got the A19 Pro chip in there. It's a really premium handset. So kind of what's its downfall? Do you think I've nailed it when I said that it's just squeezed wrong? There's too much choice. Where does it sit? And things are only going to get worse for it when the foldable comes out. And also, is it purely down to price and lack of features? You know, this is what YouTube is all about. I've really enjoyed sitting down. I know it's different, but I just wanted to sit down and talk to you this afternoon about something I felt really passionate about. So fill me up with comments. This one's down to you now. If you like it and if you keep watching it, YouTube will pick up on it and it will share it out to other people to watch. So if you're an iPhone Air lover, make sure you watch this video. Comment and tell me why you bought the iPhone Air, what's keeping you from buying the iPhone Air, and what they need to bring to the iPhone Air to make it the phone you would go to choose. There, I feel so much better now. Things will be back to normal soon. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on the iPhone Air, and I'll see you on the next video.